Okay. Good afternoon, students. So, yesterday we were discussing strings. Okay, the concepts of strings, how strings are represented. How do you find a substring within the given main string? All the conceptual understanding we were understanding. Now, since today it is mentioned as the lab tutorial class. Okay, so now I'll be giving you the second lab program which is based on the strings. Okay, so and the program is like this. Okay, I want all of you to copy this question. So we have done with the first program, which was based on the arrays. So now the second program. So second program is this. I'll share my screen. Sorry. Okay, so this is the second program. So we have done this first program, which was completely based on the arrays. Now the program number 2 is this, which is completely based on the strings. Can you see my screen? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No,
Sir, we can't see your screen, sir.
Okay. Check now. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the program? The question?
No, sir. Your
No, sir.
you can see your teams.
One second. One second. And I hope you can see now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is
Yes,
the
sir.
second lab program now. Okay. Design, develop and implement a program in C for the following operations on strings. Okay. So strings, it is not yet complete. We'll be continuing again the theoretical concepts for tomorrow. Okay. So now for today, since it's a lab tutorial class, I want to finish giving this program. And all the prerequisite for understanding this program, the conceptual things which are required for understanding this program, I've already told you yesterday. So we will just apply the same thing and try to come up with a solution to this problem statement. So design, develop and implement a program in C for the following operations on strings. So first thing is, so you got to read a main string, okay, so called as str, and a pattern string called as pat, and the replacement string. Okay, read a main string, read the pattern string. So just look for this pattern in the main string and go for replacing all those patterns, occurrences of all these patterns with the replacement string which you are reading here. And what you got to perform? This perform pattern matching operation, find and replace all occurrences of pat in str with rep, that is a repetition string, and if pattern exists in the str. So report suitable message in case the pattern does not exist in the given main string. Okay, support the program with functions for each of the above operations. Okay, you got to write a function. And one more important thing is, do not use the built-in functions. So you should not use the built-in functions for doing this. So this is the question. So I want you to copy this question, and immediately after you copy this question, I'll be taking an example and I'll be explaining the logic, how to do with this, and then we will go with the program. Copy this question. So any doubts with the question? Copy this question as it is. Only question 2. Copy this question to your observation. Finished copying? Students? What happened? Have you finished? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So now let me explain how it works with an example. Okay. I've opened the notepad. So I told you got to read 3 strings here. One is the main string. Let me call it as main string. Okay. I'll take the main string as this, MIT CSC. Okay. And then pattern string. So pattern, no, I want to say accidentally instead of this BIT, I have made it as MIT. Okay, now I want to change this to BIT. Now I say the pattern as MIT. I want to look for the pattern MIT, and then I have to replace string. Replace string. So I want to change this MIT to BIT. Okay. Hope people are following. This is what the main string I'm taking. Now in this main string, I got to look for the pattern MIT and replace this MIT pattern with BIT. Okay, these are the 3 strings which you'll be reading. Now how this works now? What is the logic? What you can do is, first you have to take the source string. So read the source string character by character. Start reading from here. First read the first character, and also read the pattern. Okay, pattern string also you have to read. So read pattern string again by character by character. So just take the first character from the source string. So compare that with the first character of pattern string. So if it matches, so now this first character in main string is also M, and the first character in pattern string is also M. It is matching. What do you have to do next? If there is a match, okay, so you got to increase, okay, both the pointer. Now just take the next character from the source string and the next character from the pattern string. Again compare. So again they are matching. Correct, right? So they are matching. So and what you got to do is, now this matching, you should once the first character matches, this should be repeated until all the characters in the pattern are exhausted. Now I am comparing I and with the second character of my source string, it is matching. Okay. Next I take T and I'll compare with this T. Again it is matching. Now I have reached the null character, because every string there will be with a null character. So now there are no more characters in the pattern. So that means my pattern, the pattern which I was looking for MIT, is found inside the main string. Now what is that I have to do? So I have to go for changing my main string. I'll take one more final string, one more array with the name final string. In addition to this main string, pattern and replace, I'll take the final string. Now what I'll do in the final string, since this source string, this is matching with my pattern, what I'll do, so I'll go for writing this source string which is matching with my pattern, overwrite it by what? The new string, that is replace string, bit. Okay, bit. Okay, this is what is added to the final string. And next I'll continue where I had stopped in my source string. Last I compared a t with this t, and after that the pattern got exhausted. Okay, pattern got exhausted because I reached null character. The once I reach the null character of the pattern, now again I'll go back to the first character of my pattern. So the first character of my pattern will be, because I got to search for all occurrences of this pattern in my main string. Next, this m is compared with the white space. Okay, they don't match. Now what I do, I'll just go for, so when there is no match, so I don't do anything to the pattern. So the pattern, I'll just again still take a pointer which is pointing to m, first character I take. So since this space is not matching with m, I go for taking the next character from my sources. So source string, I'll take c and I'll just compare with m. So there is no match. I don't have to increment and go and take the next character from the pattern. I just still be in the m itself. Next I go to s. I'll compare s with m. No. And then I'll compare e with m. No matching. And then now I've reached the end of my source string. So this is the end of my source string, and there are no characters to compare. That means, so my source string has only one occurrences of MIT, that is this MIT, and this is replaced. Next what I do, when there is no matching simultaneously, so when I'm comparing this space with m, since there is no match, what I'll do, so I'll go for copying this character from my main string to final string. So this space is copied here. And next I take the next character c, I'll compare that with c, m of my pattern string. There is no match again. So what I'll do, so in my final string I should have the same, correct, right? Now c gets copied here. I'm copy this, and I take the next character s, I'll compare it with m. So there is no match. So what I'll do, that s is copied as it is. If there is a match, if the pattern is found inside the main string, then I'll go for replacing that by the new string here, as I did. And then I take e and I compare that with m. Again it's not matching. The e as it is it is copied to this. Okay, now what happened now, my MIT CSC, which was a source string, so there is one occurrence of MIT which got replaced by BIT. Okay, now I'll take one more case, another case. Okay, let me take this. So MIT, or let me take this. This is MIT CSC. This is my source string, and this is what the pattern which I want to look for, and this is what I got to replace. And when you look into this source string, there is one occurrence of my pattern. This is my occurrence of pattern. Okay, now I'll remove this final string. I'll make it as empty. Now again, how we start? We start with this t. Okay, we take this t and we compare it with m. Okay, t and m are compared. So are they matching? No, they're not matching. Correct? No. So t is not matching with m. What we'll do? Are we going to increment the pointer which is pointing to the pattern string? No, we still stay there only because the first character is not matching. Now what we do? We copy this t to the final string. And next, and main string pointer is incremented and it is pointing to h. I take h and I just compare with m. No matching. Again, h is copied as it is to my final string. And I take I, and I is compared with m again. So there is no matching, and I is copied as it is here. I take s and it is compared with m. So no matching, s is copied as it is. And next there is a space. I take this space and I compare with m. So space will not match with m. So the space. So this space is copied as it is to the final string. And then we have this I. I'll compare that with m. So no matching. I is copied as it is. I take this s compare with M, so no matching, so S is copied as it is. Next I take this space, I compare with M, no matching, so space is copied as it is. Now you observe, M I take and I'm comparing with M. What is happening? There is a match. Now I don't go for copying, correct, right? I don't copy this M as it is to my final string. So M and M are matching. If there is a match, what I'll do, I increment both. I increment the pointer which is pointing to the main string also. I also increment the pointer which is pointing to the pattern string also. Okay, now both are incremented. So M and M matched. Now it is incremented. Now what is happening? I is next being compared with I. Again there is a match. So both are incremented. Next T is getting matched with T. Okay. Now and then what is happening? Okay. My pattern ended. So now there are no more characters in my pattern. So my pattern is ended. That means my exact pattern is found inside the main string. Now what I'll go for? I'll go for replacing this pattern MIT, correct? No, with BIT. The entire thing, I don't copy this to my final string now. Instead, I'll put it as BIT. Okay, BIT. Next, I compare. Where was my comparison stopped? Here. This T I compared, but next there were no characters in my pattern string to compare. So next what I'll do, once I go for writing the replace string in the final string, so again the pointer is reset here. The pattern pointer is reset and we have the pointer pointing to back M again. Now this white space is compared with M. Is there a match? Does a white space matches with M? There is no match. So the white space is written as it is. And then C is compared with M. Okay, there is no matching. C is written as it is. And S is compared with M. So no matching. S is written as it is. And now E is compared with M. So no matching. E is written as it is. And then, so there are no more characters to compare. Now my source string is ending. I'll terminate the process. Now this is BIT CSC. So we have this MIT, one occurrence which is replaced by BIT. OP people understood? Like this, if there are even more multiple occurrences of the same pattern in the main string, so all those patterns will be replaced by BIT CSC. I hope you people understood how it goes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we'll go to the and I'll take one example where the pattern is not found. Say MIT is the pattern. This is I just give the pattern MET. Okay. So this pattern is not there in my string. Okay. What I'll let me remove this. Okay. It starts from here. I take this first character. I'll just compare with T. So there is no matching, correct? There is no matching. And then I just say final string. I write it as T. And then so again M is compared with H, no matching. Till here there is no matching till this point. So now this point, assume we are at this point. So M is matching with this. Okay. M matches with this. Now both the pointers are incremented. Next, when I go and check E and this is I, the very next character is not matching. Okay, that means so this matching should happen until the null character in the pattern is reached. So right now, so the pattern has not reached the null character, but it has only the first character matched and the second character is what? Not matching. So the condition has stopped matching even before this /0 is encountered. So and we don't go for copying. So like this, if you don't find anything, then my program what it outputs is the pattern which you are looking for is not found inside the main string. OP people understood? See, if the first character matches, we increment both the pointers here also, and we compare the second characters. If second character matches, what we do? We again increment the pointer in the main string also, pointer in the pattern string also, and we go for comparing the third characters until the null character is encountered in pattern. So now what is happening? Even before the null counter in the pattern is encountering here in this example. So the second character E and I, they are not matching. That means this is not the pattern. This MIT is not the pattern MET. Okay, so it doesn't match. We don't copy. We don't go for writing this BIT in the place of MIT, because what I'm looking for the pattern of is MET. So, and it will similarly try to check for this particular pattern in the entire main string, and till the /0 is encountered in the main string. The moment the /0 is encountered in the main string, it says but this particular pattern is not found in the given main string. Okay, this is how the algorithm which I'm going to show you or explain you now works. Okay, now we'll see the implementation of this. Okay, so let me maximize this. Okay, so let me walk through the entire program first. Okay, I have stdio.h, conio.h included here, and if you're working on using the online compiler, okay, don't include conio.h and clear screen, because these two are not required if you're working using the online compiler. So if you're working on your laptops or the desktop systems, then include it as conio and clear screen. So I have only one function here with the name string match. Okay, string match or pattern match, anything is fine, whichever is convenient to you, you can take it, but here it is taken as string match, and these are the arguments which are passing to it. So say all the argument which are passing to this is a character arrays. So this first is a character array, second is also character array, third is also character array, and fourth is also character array. So let me tell you what is this first one is. This is the source string. Okay, first character array represents the source string, and this is my pattern string array, and this is my replace string array, and this is my final string which I'll be displaying after doing all the replacement. Okay, so one is source, pattern, and then a replacement string, and this is my final string. And if you just if we enter into the main, so you can just observe I have yes max. So this is the array which is declared in order to store the store string yes max, and max is again defined as a macro and initialized to 100. You can observe here. So yes max is equal to 0. Initially I'm making it as 0. All the elements I'm initializing it to 0. Why I'm doing this, I'll tell you. What happens if I don't initialize also, I'll tell you later. Now pattern max of array again initialized to 0. For replacement I'm taking the name of the array as R. Replacement max of array is equal to 0. And for the final string, which displays the replaced one, so I'm taking it as final max, and it is again initialized to 0. And I have another integer variable called as found. The moment a pattern is found, I'll be changing this found to 1. So it returns the string match returns found is equal to 1. Okay, if the pattern is found, and then I go for saying the final string is so and so. If the pattern is not found inside the main string, the second case which I was explaining while in the notepad, correct, no, while writing here, it's the same thing. If the pattern is not found, so what this str match, see here I've written it as int. So in the previous program which you executed the arrays on the arrays, so none of the functions were returning the value. That is the reason we made the return type of all the functions as what, void. But this string match, it is returning an integer value. What is that? It is returning found. So the return value from string match, you can just observe here my mouse movement, string match, it is returning an integer value, and that is being assigned to found. And I'm checking here if found is equal to 1. Okay, that means the pattern was there in the main string, and the final string after substitution is so and so, and we're printing the final string. Okay, people understood till here? So if the pattern is not found, what string match returns is 0. It returns 0 to the found. So that case we don't have the final string getting printed. It goes to the else part, and it says the search string not found or the pattern string not found. You can do it, say it. Now understood till here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now I'm reading the source string. As I told, you got to read the source string. Since we are reading the string, you can go for using getS. What getS does, reads a string from the keyboard. So I'm using getS. So the string which is read from the keyboard, where it gets stored, yes. Yes is the character array of size max. Okay, it gets stored into yes. And similarly, after reading my main string, I got to go for reading the pattern string also. So getS p. I'm reading my pattern string to the p array here, p max. Okay. Next, enter the replace string. So the string which I want to replace with, the new string. So that I'm reading it into the array r, getS r. Now after reading my source array, pattern string, and my replace string, so I make a call to string match, and these are all the parameters which I'm passing. So I'm passing my source string, pattern string I'm passing, replace string I'm passing, and the final one also. Final is still empty. We have not read anything to this. So the final string is computed based on the pattern existence. Okay. Next. So from here we call string match. We'll go to the string match, and the return value from string match will be assigned to found. Based on the found value, we go for displaying the final string. If the found value is 1, if the found value is 0, then with this search string is not found. Yeah, this is important now. You got to understand. So, and you got to relate this with the one which I explained earlier. So I took example, right, MIT and I told you how it works. So it's the same way this works now. So what I'm doing, just here, string match. Now the source string which we are passing gets copied to yes. So and same names are retained here, and the pattern string which I'm passing gets copied to p, and the replacement string gets copied to r, and the final string gets copied to f. And we have these many variables I, j, k, m, and t. These are all for the looping purpose and the indexing. So I, observe here, and the comment section also it is written. So I acts as the index for the source string, and j we have taken to act as the index for the pattern string. K is taken to act as the index for the replacement string. Okay, and m and t for copying the data from the source string to the final string. Okay, final string. Now found is equal to 0. Initially I am making found as 0, and initially what is the value of all these things I, j, k, m, and t. So everything is initialized to 0. I made j is equal to m is equal to I is equal to t is equal to 0. Everything is initialized to 0. Now what I'm doing now, while s of I, I'm running a while loop. So this while loop will track every character of my source string till the null character is reached. Say for example, I'll write here. So my string is MIT CSC. Now in the first iteration, since the I value is initialized to 0, what it will do? It will take m. So s of 0, that is m. M not equal to null character. So because I want these statements to be repeated as long as the null character is reached. Okay. So I just take the first character from my source string. I just compare that with /0. So it is not equal to /0. I enter into this while loop. So we enter into this while loop. So this is my source string. Let me write as src. Okay, and I'll also write. Later I'll erase all these things. Okay, pattern string ptr. I'll take pattern, ptr nothing but pattern. Okay, this is what I want to look for, MIT, and then I want to replace it by rep, replacement string. Let me take it as bit. Okay, now just observe, now just look into the logic. Okay, so my source string is this now, which is or if it confuses, let me take it this way itself. Let me take it as yes, because the names are like that. So I've taken yes and I've taken p. P is nothing but the pattern p, and then this is r. So r, and I'll write one more f, final one. Okay, just observe now. So s of I value is 0 initially. S of 0, how much, what it is? M. So I'm checking whether it is equal to null character. No, it is not equal to null character. It enters into this, okay, while loop. So while loop is opened here, and where it is getting closed? Here. Okay. So while is getting closed here. Now once I make sure that this is not the end of my source string, I just enter here into the while, and inside the while loop I check this. If s of m, what is the value of initial value of m? It is also initialized to 0, is equal to p of j. What is the initial value of j? J is also initialized to 0. So s of 0 and p of 0. S of 0 is what? M. What is p of 0? M. M and m. So both are matching. So s of m is also m, and p of 0 is also m. M is equal to m. Okay. There is a match. What you have to do? You got to enter into this if statement. Okay. We have entered into this if statement. And next what we are doing? So p of j. See, once you're doing this, it's j plus plus, automatically increment it. Okay. P of j. Okay. What it is now? I. So j is automatically incremented. Earlier it was 0. Now j plus plus. You know, after comparing this m with m, so j gets incremented by 1. M also gets incremented by 1. You know, m is how much now? M is equal to 1, and j is equal to, I'll put comma and write. J is equal to 1. J is equal to 1. J is also 1. M is also 1. Now what we are doing? P of j, that is this one, I equal to null character. I'm checking. So I is not a null character, because I got to repeat this comparison as long as all the characters of the pattern matches with this. Okay. So P of j, that is nothing but 1. P of 1 is equal to this. I'm checking. Not true. What will happen? So only if it is equal, it will come here. Otherwise it comes here. Okay. And then it goes back to the loop. So while loop. Now, and still what it is? Sorry. Yeah, m is incremented. 1 second. M is also incremented. Okay. Yeah. M is also 1. J is also 1. Now again it comes here. Now S of 1. Okay. What it is? I. And P of 1. What it is? I. We are comparing. So again they are same. Now we come here. Now and we check. Now when I'm comparing I and I, after comparison, what will happen? J is incremented. J is also incremented. M is also incremented. M will become how much? 2. And J also becomes 2. Now, so P of 2, how much? 0, 1, 2. T, is it equal to null character? No. Again we come back to this. And S of M value is 2. We are comparing T with P of 2, this T. So matches. And we are here into the loop again. Now when by the time I come here, what will happen to J and M? They're incremented by 1 more. So this becomes 3 and this becomes 3. Now P of 3, how much it is? So this is 0, 1, 2. P of 3, what do you have? Null character. Null character. Now this null character equal to null character. True. Now we enter into this. Okay, that means, so the entire pattern matched with my source string. The moment you're into this, so if this condition is true and you got into this statement, what does it mean? So you have found the pattern. So if this condition is true, you have found the pattern. Once you enter into this, you have found the pattern. Now what you have to do? You have to go for replacing this entire thing with this replacement. Okay, how to do that? Say k is equal to 0 and rk of r of 0. Okay, replacement of 0. This is what r I have taken. Replacement of 0 not equal to this null character. So go for copying this entire thing here to the final string until this is not equal to null. Okay, let me put null character here also. And then we have two increments. So k plus plus and t plus plus, both we are doing. Now what we are doing, so initially t is also initialized to 0. You can see here f of 0 is equal to r of 0. What is r of 0? B. This b gets copied to f. Okay, next go back. So k and t, they are incremented by 1 1. So k is also 1, t is also 1. Now f of 1 is equal to r of 1. What is there in r of 1? B, I. So I gets copied to f of 1. Next, in the next iteration what happens? So k is incremented again and t is incremented. How much it is? 2 and 2. Okay, so f of 2 is equal to r of 2. How much it is? T. R of 2 is t. T gets copied here. Next iteration what happens? K and t are incremented by 1 more and they are 3. So this is 3 and t is also 3. Now I am checking r of 3 not equal to null character, but r of 3 is equal to what? Null character. It stops, only this bit is copied and it comes to this. Now again what we are doing, we are reinitializing j back to 0. So j becomes 0, 0, and I is equal to m. What was the current value of m? 3 it was. Now I is also made as I is equal to 3. Okay, and then we make found is equal to 1 because we found the pattern. So this pattern was found inside the source string and that is currently replaced by bit and it is assigned to the new string, final string. Okay, next found is made as 1. Next what happens? After this is done, okay, this is done. Now it again goes back to the while. Okay, now I is made as what? 3. Earlier, so I was 0 and it was still pointing to m here. So this letter m. Now I is 3. So s of 3, how much it is? Because we checked, looked for this pattern till here and we got to again continue from this point onwards. 0, 1, 2 and this is 3. This space is 3 position at third position. S of 3 is space. Now it will take this space, correct, right? So space and we are checking not equal to null character, true. Now we come here, so s of m, how much it is? This space, and now we are comparing with p of 0. See, j is initialized back to 0. J is initialized to back to 0. So p of 0 is what? M. We are comparing this space with m. OP, people are following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this space s of 3 we are comparing with p of 0. So no match. Correct, right? So this is not matching. Now if this is not true, this is not equal. Earlier in the till now it was equal. Now this is space and this is m. They are not equal. Now where it goes? To the else part. Observe now. It comes to this else part. Now what we are doing? F of t plus plus is equal to s of I plus plus. Okay. S of I value is how much? 3. Now we are copying the space as it is from the source string to f string. So space is copied. Okay. Next, what we are doing? M is equal to I. M is equal to I. What was the value of I? I was I gets incremented here. It becomes 4. Okay. Sorry. I becomes 4 and the same is being copied to m now. M is also 4. So now and then j is again initialized back to 0. J is again initialized back to 0. Now where we go? Here. Now s of 4. S of 4 is what? C. We are taking the character C. And we compare that with P of 0. That is the reason we made J is equal to 0. P of 0 is nothing but M. C is compared with M. Again there is no match. What we do? We come to the else part. We copy that C to this. Space we copied. Now C is copied as it is. OP, people are following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when the pattern is found, see, you got to be careful here. When the pattern is found, So you just replace that, put that in the final string, make j is equal to 0. So j is made 0 here also and in the else part also. If the pattern is found, I is equal to m. If the pattern is not found, mismatch, then you make m is equal to I, opposite. Here I is equal to m and here m is equal to I. In both the cases j is made as 0. Okay. So that's all, and we repeat it like this, correct? No, until this condition is not true. So this condition will become false when it reaches this null character. We stop at that point, and then what we do, we return found. Even if a single occurrence of the pattern is found will be changed to 1 and we are returning found. So this return value comes here. Here it gets assigned to this found, and I'm checking if found is equal to 1. I say the final string is this. So the final string, this gets printed. So bit csc, okay, /0. So this is what gets printed. If the pattern is not found, it says search string not found. Okay. Now what I'll do is, these are all the things what I wrote for making you people understand. So we'll add the watch window also and observe all these things. So this is what I wrote manually. We'll make the system to do all these things now. Let me erase all these things. Okay, I'll save this. Let me compile and run. I'll just do the debug operation once, okay, and then we will add the watch window and observe the output. Okay, I've compiled it, no errors and no warnings. Now I'm running it. Okay, so enter the source string it is asking me. So let me enter the same thing what I took for example, MIT CSC. This is what I'm entering. Now it is asking me enter the pattern string to search. I'll just say find MIT and replace that with bit. Okay, now I pressed enter. Now if I press alt F5, you can just observe here the final string is bit csc. So MIT is replaced by bit. Okay, so there's another way of doing this same thing. I'll run again, I'll compile again. Okay, so MIT CSC. Now it is asking me enter the pattern. So MIT. So even in BIT also IT is same. Now why I should go for finding the pattern MIT? So it is enough if I find only M. Okay, and replace this M with B. Okay, enter. Alt F5. See, this is also fine. Okay, earlier I found the pattern MIT complete and I replaced it with BIT. Now I know this IT is same for both MIT as well as BIT. Now it's enough if I replace this M by B. So BIT CSE, I've done it. Now, so let me remove this. See here S max of 0, S max is equal to 0, P max is equal to 0, R max is equal to 0, final max is equal to 0 I have done. So let me not do this initialization. So I have removed it for final. Okay, I'll save this. I'll compile now because I want to show you one thing. I'll run. Okay, there it is asking me to enter the source string. Okay, I'll enter MIT CSC. And then it is asking me to find enter the search pattern. Let me enter MIT, no problem. Okay, now I want to replace this MIT by Bangalore Institute of Technology. Okay, I'll press enter. Now what has happened? So it will replace. See, MIT CSE I wrote, then I asked it to search for the pattern MIT and replace this MIT with Bangalore Institute of Technology. So the final string you can see Bangalore Institute of Technology CSE. So that means my MIT is replaced by this. Okay, now I'll run it again. Okay, now in my final string I have Bangalore Institute of Technology CSC. Hope you people remember this, Bangalore Institute of Technology CSC. I go back, I'll compile again. Okay, now I enter MIT CSC. Now pattern also MIT. Now I want to replace this with only BIT. Alt F5. Just observe now. See, I entered MIT CSC as my source string. I enter my pattern as MIT, and I entered my replace string as BIT. See, MIT is replaced by BIT. Correct? No doubt. MIT is replaced by BIT. But what is this now? BIT CSC. This is fine. And RE Institute of Technology CSC. What is this? So this is still there in the memory. Getting? This was from the previous execution. I hope people can understand this. So my current string is only BIT CSC, but what about this RE Institute of Technology CSC? This is from the previous execution because this was still there in the memory, and I'm getting it. Hope you people are following.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
See, if you are focused and if you're listening attentively, then you can understand all these things. Otherwise, you'll not understand. So please focus. So this is from the previous execution what I'm getting. So I don't want this to happen. Correct, right? Every time I run my program, I want the previous memory location to be cleared. So for that reason, so I have initialized this final max is equal to this 0. So if I'm doing this, so then once you run it, and when you go for the next run, the previous memory location will be cleared. Okay, now I'm compiling again. Let me do the same kind of execution again. Run. Now I'll just take MIT CSC and then pattern as MIT. Now I just want this MI to be replaced by BAN Bangalore Institute of Technology. See? So now replaced. So MIT is replaced by Bangalore Institute of Technology CSC. This is the first run which I am doing. Let me go for running the second run. Okay, second time. So now again I enter MIT CSC and then pattern I'll enter it as MIT. Now I want to replace it with BIT. Now that replacement and the result of the previous execution you will not find it. See, it is only BIT CSC. So earlier, so when I showed without clearing this final string, you are getting it as BIT CSC ER what is that? Institute of Technology. So that is what the previous execution result was also there. Okay, so this you can avoid. Hope you people understood.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is as far as the execution is concerned. So now I think I've already added the watch variables. I'll show you. So because I've added and kept them ready. Okay, so these are the watch variables which I've added. I think all of them are not there. Okay. Yeah, everything is there. I've added everything. Let me show you. This is the source string which I've added. P is nothing but the pattern. R is nothing but the replacement string, and final is the final string, and S of I, the variable which used to inside the which we were using inside the while loop. Let me show you here. So S of I is required in while loop, correct, right? That is S of I, and found is also there, and S of M here in the if condition. S of M is equal to P of J. Okay, and then I have F also, because final string here we are copying, correct, right? So to the final string, when there is a match, we copy the replacement string to final string. Okay, if the pattern is found, we copy the replacement string to final string. Just to show that I have taken F. Okay, and then R is also there, because you can observe what is the character that is getting copied to f of t, and the looping variables I, j, m, k. K I have not added. Okay, I, j, m, t. So let me add k also. Okay, now we'll go for debugging this. So quickly let me do that. Okay, started with the main. So we have initialized everything. See, before running, now all are empty now. So source string is empty, and then p is empty, replacement string is empty, final string is also empty. Okay, so if I'm not doing this, so if I'm not initializing this, so you'll still find some data of what previous execution. So now clear screen we are doing. Now enter the source string. Now get s. So now we are reading the source string. Let me enter the same thing, MIT CSC. Okay, observe now. Now I've read and it is stored into what? Yes, you can just observe my source string is what? MIT CSC. Okay, next enter the pattern string. So I want to search for the pattern MIT. Okay, observe now my pattern string is also changed to MIT. Now enter the replacement string. So I want to replace MIT by BIT. So replacement string is BIT. I'm calling string match function. Okay, so source string is here in S, and pattern string is here in P, and replacement string is here in R, and this is what the final string which I'm building, which I'll be building. And that final string is still empty. You can F is empty. You can observe here empty. Now found is initialized to 0. So found, it was showing some junk value. So now it gets initialized to 0. Initialized to 0. J, M, I, T is equal to what? 0. All of them we are initializing it to 0s. I'll show you here. See, J, I, J, M, T, everything gets initialized to 0 now. See, all of them are initialized to 0s. Now you observe, while s of I not equal to null character, s of I, this is s, I value is what? 0 now. I'll show you, because just now we have initialized I to what? 0. S of 0 is what? M. You can just see that here also. You don't have to look here. You can just see this. S of I is what? M. So this M not equal to null character. True it is. So now we have the control entering into the while statements. So we are into the while statement now. Now what is the current value of M? Let me go down. What is the current value of M? 0. What is the current value of J? 0. This is S of 0 and P of 0. Okay. What is S of 0 and P of 0? Just observe here. S of 0 is M and P of 0 is also what? M. You can just observe here. So very clearly you can observe here. So M and M. Is the condition true? Is the condition true?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now the control will enter into the if statement. Now how long should I repeat checking this? Until all my characters in the pattern string are what? Completed. Okay. Now J. Now after this execution, M and J are automatically incremented, because we have M++ and J++. So you just observe here. So J was 0 earlier and M was 0 earlier. Now they have become 1 and 1. Okay. Now P of 1. P of 1 is what? I am just checking whether it is equal to null character. No, it is not equal to null character. Now I don't have this statements executed. The statements inside this if are not executed. Where will it will go? Where it will go again? It will come back to this. Okay. So now up to now I press F7. Okay, I am here, and from there where will I go? To this while statement again. Now what is the value of I? So I value is still 0. I value is still 0. Okay. So I value is still 0. So what is what? S of m, sorry, S of I, it is up. You got to see this. S of I is what? M. So that means, so it's still pointing to the first character. So it's still I am here. Still I am here. Okay. So this two I compared. Okay. Next, what is that I have to do? I got to compare these two. Okay. I got to compare these two. So this is stays here only. So here only. Next. So and this m again not equal to null character. So we enter into the while loop. Now what is the value of m? It was already incremented. Correct, right? So m is 1 now. So you just go down. So m is 1, and what about j? Is also 1. S of 1 and p of 1. What is there in S of 1? See, S of 1 is I, and p of j is also I. These two are being compared now. So I and I. First we compared m and m, they matched. Now we are comparing I and I. Okay. So that is what S of m is also I, and p of j is also I. So I is equal to I. True it is. Again it will come here. And I am checking whether I have reached the end of my pattern. Okay. So p of 2 now. J is already incremented. See, j is 2 and m is also 2. M is also 2. But I am checking p of 2 is equal to null character. What is p of 2? P of 2 or p of j is t. It is not equal to null character. There is one more character to compare. So I am not just going into this if. And again, we are back to the while. I value is still 0. S of m not equal to this. And I am here. Now S of 3 compared with P of 3. Okay. So it is T and T. We are comparing the third characters. So matching. Now J gets incremented by one more. It will become how much? 4. Okay. 4 it is. But P of 4, is it equal to null character? Yes. See, P of J, now it is equal to what? Null character. It is equal to null character. Now it will enter into the if. Now what is that I got to do? I found my entire pattern matched. Now I got to go for assigning the replacement string to what? My final string. Okay. What we are doing? K is equal to 0 while R of 0. Okay. I'll just show you here. My R is what? BIT. Now the MIT I got to replace it by BIT. So K of 0, R of 0, that is B, not equal to null character. What I'm doing? So just observe this F now. So I just go here. Now what I'm doing? R of 0. This B, I'm copying it to F. So you'll get B here. Got it? B copied there. Next what I'll do? I'll go for copying R of 1. What is R of 1? I. I gets copied to F of T. So I, BI, and next one more, T. OP people followed?
Yes, sir.
Now in my final string, instead of MIT, I require it as what? BIT. So that is what I did now. Next what I do? J, I'll initialize it back to 0. Why I'm initializing J back to 0? Because again my pattern should start from where? Now right now J was already pointing here. Now I want J again to start from the beginning. First character of my pattern string. J is initialized back to 0. And why I'm initializing I to M? Because M where it was M is pointing to what? The space here, to the blank space. But I is what? Still 0. So it is pointing here. Since I've already finished comparing my source string, this MIT, with my pattern, so now I should continue from this point onwards. From this point onwards. That is the reason we are making I is equal to M. Okay, J is equal to 0 and I is equal to M. You can just observe now. S of I is equal to what? Space. This space. Okay, this space. Now found. So because I found one pattern in my source string, found is made as 1. So till now, all this time the found value was 0. Now it is changed to 1. Now F7, I go back. Now what I'm doing? S of I. So this space, again I'm comparing with M. Okay. So space will not match with M. Sorry, space I'm checking with null character. And here I'm checking this space with M. This is space. You can observe here. S of M is space. And P of J is M. So they don't match. If they don't match, where will it go? it will go to the else part. Here it will come. Observe now. I'll press F7. Now I am in the else part now. Now what I am doing? S of I, S of I, correct? No. So that space. This is nothing but space. You can just here. S of I is what? Space. I'm copying it to F of T plus plus. So what is F of F? Already I have BIT, and here you can see a space after T. Just observe BIT now. I'll press F7. See. So after BIT you add a space. Getting? You got a space. And after this again make opposite as I told. So when there is a match, I is equal to M. When there is a mismatch, M is equal to I. And J is initialized to 0 both the cases. M is equal to I. J is initialized to 0. Now what you are checking? S of I. You are comparing this C with null character. So C is not null character. And now you are comparing C with M again. Okay. This C is being compared with M. So there is no match. Now what happens? So S of I, that is nothing but C. C gets copied to this position. So this is F. BIT space is already there. Now you'll get C over here. You can observe now. I'll press F7. So BIT C get copied. Okay. And again make M is equal to I and J is equal to 0. Next. You're comparing S with this null character now. So S is not equal to null character. Now you're comparing S with M again. So no match. So just copy as it is into the final string. So S is copied. You can observe here BIT CS. So and make M is equal to I, J is equal to 0. Now again compare S of I with null character. That is E. This is E. S of I is E. S of I is E. Is not equal to null character. And E is equal to M you are checking. No, it is not matching. So put E as it is into the final string. So this E now gets copied to here. So BIT CSE. Now make M is equal to I and J is equal to 0. Now you observe S of I is what? S of I is equal to null character. So null character not equal to null character. Condition is false. Come out of the while loop and return found. What is the value of found? So it is here. It is already made as 1. I'll show you. Yeah, found is 1. Return found. Now if found is equal to 1, yeah, found is 1, true. So final string is print final. So Alt F5, CC, BIT, CSC. Okay. So MIT is replaced by BIT. OP people understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I'll just take one more example and run you. I don't debug the program. Okay. I'll compile it directly. Control F9. So enter the string. Temple run is boring. Now I want to change this temple run is boring to temple